So, who are the Ardmore Turks?
We don't have any egos. We check our sidearms at the door when we come in, and we check our egos. Oh, you've been carrying?
Some of you do that.
Okay.
And it's all about give and take. We learn together. We teach each other, and it's a beautiful thing.
Really, the Ardmore Turks became an outcome of video processing. We didn't have a name.
So talk a little bit about Stupid. That's what happened with this project, yeah?
It actually started out as a song, and the lyrics of the song actually began the message.
I'm human.
I'm human.
You're human.
Yeah.
I'm stupid. You're stupid. We're all freaking stupid. So let's get along.
Hey, let's do a video. Originally, we were thinking, let's do a monkeys type video. Run as a group. Run along the water's edge. Run away and
Run, shake, sickles.
Yeah.
A dumb dance step.
Yeah, and I think I went home and slept on it, and I don't know if it was a dream or several nights later, something started to stew in my brain, and one of those times I came back with some stuff that I had written down and showed it to the guys, and it had the kernel of the ideas about the characters. The drummer would be the overseer. Yeah, and then we started to throw ideas around, and it just mushroomed from that.
We have the enlightened man, myself, moving through, and you get to see it through the video, moving from selfishness, unawareness, uncaring of much else that goes around him, drawn into a situation where he finds enlightenment, learning, and growth on a global level. Is more than just the individual. This also speaks to everyone.
We wanted a vehicle to show the development, his evolution, if you will. A reminder of how those characters representing the various faiths, how they can get along.
Yes.
So I think that's a reminder too. I think that speaks to the global.
Probably 2/3 of the world's population finds an identity through those characters. Right. So it sent a stronger, broader message.
In the credits, we called him the Enlightened Man. So we wanted to tell the story of his enlightenment. What began with his releasing the death grip on his baggage continues as he follows the procession led by the rabbi, and ultimately listening to the beautiful tones of the clarinet. With each note, he's more and more letting go of his baggage. And ultimately, he can't contain himself. He throws off his clothes to reveal his true inner self.
And we all joined him at that point. We all celebrated his release.
Throwing your clothes up in the air.
So you have a rabbi, someone, again, one of these thematic characters, and the traveler obviously still has issues with people, maybe different faith beliefs or whatever, and then also he is handicapped. And the traveler is waiting at a stoplight rather, at the same time the rabbi is impatiently waiting, and he sees the light change, and he looks at this guy and goes, oh, this guy's going to get in front of me? No, I don't think so. Gives a disdainful look. So he embodied a lot of things that came to a head. It was the perfect culmination for the traveler at that point then to fail. And fully fail. He flails about and lands on the ground. And who is there to help him but this person he despises so much. Yeah. The Hoodie Master. He's actually the one he leads quietly and gently the entire process of redemption for the eventual enlightened man. And he's also the alpha and the omega of this whole process. He
puts all the players in place. He sort of assembles the band, if you will.
He's also the timekeeper and the backbeat in the band.
Right. So there's
the rhythm, if you will.
Right. He follows up behind at the end of the procession to move it forward.
There were some really neat things that came out of discussion. For example, there's a scene where we're all walking along, and Amit had the idea of shooting into the water, looking at the image reflection, and the cloud. You'd see the clouds, and it's very, very vivid, unique imagery.
Yeah.
And in our discussion, Tom mentioned, "Oh, well, that's a time of reflection." And wow,
it was a powerful image.
It was and that just came from discussion and in
the timing of the flow of events in the video. It's when this character, the Enlightened Man, starts to reflect. Like, wow, Every scene has symbology, and that's intentional. However, this was an interesting point. After we saw it several times, we realized we maybe unconsciously added symbols we didn't realize till later.
Yeah.
And it became, that's when we started to think, no wonder people are asking about a lot of the things they see in there. Like, did this have significance? Did that have significance?
Why the gloves?
Well, look at this character who's wearing them in the video. And this character's uptight, he separates himself from the world. He appears Scrooge-like, stingy, so look at those gloves. They're not nice gloves, they're just, but they keep him separate from the world. He's cut himself off. And he hasn't released them yet when he gets on that piano. He hasn't started that journey yet. He's just beginning to embark on his transition. So it was important to keep him
Insulated.
insulated.
He's afraid to touch. He's afraid to be touched.
Yeah.
And isolated.
And
Insulated and isolated.
Insulated and isolated.
Okay, talk a little bit about those figurines there.
One of the thoughts I had was the Hoodie Master engulfed inside all of these black trash bags, taking these little replicas of all of the characters and putting them very carefully inside of these trash bags, these black trash bags. What a great visual that would be, as if he was putting them in there for safekeeping for the next time.
And the first time I saw them was actually on a video. You had done some camera work on them. I'm like, oh, that's just remarkable. That's perfect.
And I started sending, as she was making them one by one, I started sending in like semi.
During the evening, as you're
I started sending pictures to these guys, and they're like, "Oh, this is so cool."
There's the iPhone. Oh, look, they have heads now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom, can you talk just a little bit about how there's a dramatic shift, the Rabbit on the Hill scene? You want to talk a little bit about that?
The fascinating part about it is the reflection. I mean, if you look at it, it draws your attention immediately. So you become captivated by that, and that is the beginning of the journey home for the traveler who's now going to become the enlightened man.
What is significant about the timing of the video?
But the timing wasn't intentional on our part. It just
happened.
happened that stuff was happening out there.
The song was written some time ago.
Yeah.
And we just happened to work on it, and
Yet those characters obviously portrayed it well because that's a recurring theme. Otherwise, the characters wouldn't have had. Why would have even used those characters if those things didn't have a pre-existing notion? It just so happened at the same release time.
Yeah.
All these things were in the front.
the video was waiting for its time to be released.
Yeah.
Were you worried that portraying such stereotyped characters would be viewed negatively by the public or by anybody?
That was a concern. That, in fact, early on, I had some hesitation about the character that I portrayed, and because I knew how they were being observed and understood by the public at that time, and I realized that it was a necessary instrument to convey the message. I mean, it was without that, you wouldn't have some of the tension necessary that would be resolved in the end, and thought it was a good vehicle for conveying that message.
I thought people would think that we were trying to teach them some sort of religious lesson or something like that, and it's certainly not about anything about religion. We wanted to use the characters to teach a lesson about harmony. The characters end up being in the same band together, right?
Yeah.
And they are in harmony.
How about the technical aspects of it?
Small budget, we didn't want to spend a lot of money on it, so. I remember going to the Goodwill stores in the area and I found $3 clip-on lights.
Oh, where you go? We're not over. The interview's not over.
Oh, it's not over? I bought this thing for $3 and I liked it so much.
It's not over yet.
Made a diffuser, made 2 diffusers, and we hung them on Randy's in Randy's basement.
A lot of it was filling a need as it was needed. We'd film something, then we'd look at it. The lighting wouldn't be right, so we'd move the lights, and then we'd move the diffuser, and so it's a lot of starting with something and then tweaking it as you go along. And that's really what it's about: getting what you want to see. Because there's no right or wrong.
Tom, I noticed you're playing the bass left-handed.
Yes, that was quite an interesting experience.
I take it you're not left-handed.
I'm not a left-handed bass player. Like being a right-handed player, like my hands like tapping the strings like, oh no, that's not what happens. I'm not tapping in the neck. And so trying to look authentic and then trying to groove with it, and it was just awkward. The whole time felt awkward. Since we were trying to stay symmetric, that was the whole purpose of doing that. We wanted to create some symmetry. So when we're doing the stage performance pieces, Ahmed and I would always be kind of symmetric in our motions. It was not. We didn't try to literally stage every moment, so it was not like heavily choreographed. But we did actually in the beginning. You'll notice in the beginning of the video, you see Ahmed and I. Randy Turk is there in the center. That's how we count and we go wham, and all of a sudden you have the shot.
Another surprise for me was at YouTube. The comments were just so positive, so supportive, and so a lot of people got it. You know, they got our message, which I was really really heartened by.
We tried some things. We worked our way through some not difficulties, but working with what we had at hand to achieve what we wanted. And now I think we, having been successful at that, or found ways to make it work on a low budget and with what we had, I think it suddenly fuels the creativity that you can go further.
Do you think everyone that watches makes it to the last scene?
I think it's a loss for people if they don't stick it out to the end, because this is going to go on. It's going to continue.
The circle of life continues.
The circle of life, yeah, and that's a beautiful thing. You know, so if they don't see that implication of the repetition of this beautiful, sharing of the goodness, then they're missing out on something good. So, our hopeful message is sort of only partially delivered at that point. A friend of mine reached out to me, that a Jewish friend of mine, and he said he thought it was a beautiful message, and he thought that everyone in the world should see it, and that it would hopefully lead to more peace.
Well, there were two funny instances related to this as we're filming. One was when he was falling down in front of the disabled person, the rabbi, and we were at the edge of a parking lot, and a street was going by, and people would stop. And are you okay? Do you need help?
Oh yeah.
Now here are these characters dressed around this guy, and they're saying, "You need help? No, we're shooting a video."
Yeah, we're.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Right.
One lady drove by and was like,
Yeah. Oh, and she
"It's
stopped.
okay.
Yeah.
Just go."
And she stopped. She went.
Those costumes were more realistic, right, than we thought.
Yeah.
So we're out of time now. Is there anything else you want to say?
No, you've been a delightful host. Thank you so much.
Yes, of course I have. What?
Please stay tuned for future videos.
Nice. Okay. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you, fellas.